What's up, guys? This is Jason from the Jason&Jabari Gaming, and today we have another off-season war where I am taking in Kang as my primary attacker with some synergy partners, which we will actually discuss the War Machine synergy, and we're also taking in Apocalypse. But if you guys are liking this type of content, please leave a like and a subscription. This greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm at growing our channel and getting to more viewers who like this type of content, such as yourselves. So I posed a question, I don't know how long ago now, and basically I had a few arguments as to why I believe Kang can be a viable option as to being a war attacker, and we're going to kind of explore that a little bit more today. So spoiler alert, I do die a couple of times, but that's actually because I'm a scrub player. It's not actually that he can't do the fights, it's just that yeah, I'm not the best fighter. So we'll get into all that when we come up to it. But the first path we're going to go down today is path 5. I've taken a couple different paths. I've taken path 3A, I've taken 8B, I've taken 5B, I've taken minis, I've taken bosses, I've taken a lot of different paths. So we're going to keep on trying to do some different paths and variations to see how well Kang can do on some actual fights that he might or could be assigned to. So the first fight that we have is Hit Monkey. This is completely unboosted for the first section. I didn't bother boosting. The idea of this fight was Hit Monkey doesn't have a high health pool, so we're going to bait out his special 1 and punish. And with the Apocalypse synergy, which we've discussed in previous videos, which I'll leave a link to at the end, he's going to get plenty of damage, so there was no need to boost for these. I didn't deem these fights hard enough for me to actually boost, but in season war I would definitely be boosted. So that's the idea behind this fight. It's going to take a little longer, but pretty soon it doesn't matter that he has that protection up, because we're going to just hit so hard that it's still going to take him down like normal. So not much to this fight. Don't get clipped and don't get caught. I could have used a pre-fight here from War Machine. He has a armory boost, and it has 3 different pre-fights that you can apply to your metal champions. Kang is a metal champion, so he benefits from the War Machine pre-fight abilities. First of all, it automatically gives you 10% additional attack. And what I would have used here if I wanted to was his Purify. So basically it cleanses any debuff, and if I wanted to not bleed from Hit Monkey, or if I was concerned about that, I could put that on. But obviously nothing happened there, thank goodness. And we're going to move on to this Mordo. This is where you're going to see that I'm a scrub. I don't die in this fight, but you know, I was flirting with it a little bit. For some reason or another, I just decided to punish him while he was stunned, and it just kind of cascaded downhill from there. But this is another example of what I could have used my War Machine pre-fight on if I wanted to. Yeah, and there I go into punish too early, and that's where I get the degen. And then I think I take a special 3 or something like that. Yeah, so he's already at 3 bars. I just kind of punish to get that fury because it's ebb and flow knockdown. I know I'm going to take this special 3. It does some damage because, again, I'm not boosted at all. So this is just his normal health pool. And you can't really bait his heavy. Fortunately, I was able to throw my special 2 quick enough to where Mordo wasn't able to hold his block for the 4 seconds or whatever where he can stop the unblockable part of it. So it went through. There we're almost dead, so now we're gonna have to kick in high gear unless we want to lose. So I start intercepting a little bit. I bait out a special 2 successfully. I throw in my combo, throw my special 2. He's almost dead. We have the fury. So I get another intercept on him. He's getting ready to go into his power gain. Normally with that he's passive. I was able to get a heavy and finish him off. But yeah, that was that was just me playing like a normal scrub, guys. Sorry about that. You're about to see more of that here. Here I was debating about what gray boost I should go with. I ended up going with the heal, which I should have just went with a vulnerability boost. I would have soloed this fight I went with my instinct and just did an invul boost. We all have like 100 that are expiring, so this is a bad choice of boost. I might be slightly boosted. I think I am slightly boosted here. Wasp is a high ground defender, but I have not used my pre-fight ability with War Machine. He only gives you 2. So I had to be selective in where I wanted to use him, and he's getting ready to come up. We're going to have a little bit more of an in-depth conversation about War Machine in the pre-fight and what he brings to the table in conjunction with my Kang. But right now, yeah, as you can see, Wasp is going down pretty easily. I knew this shock was coming, and that's what kind of got me. You see how much damage I'm losing from the shock alone, which is a significant amount. And then of course she catches me on a dash back into a heavy, which she is known for, and that's lights out because she hits just that hard. So had I had an invulnerability boost, I actually would have survived that and I would have cleaned up. Yeah, so what I could have done there, again, I could have used the pre-fight ability from War Machine, which would have negated the shock, but I'm pretty sure that heavy that she did would have still killed me, because I mean she just does a ridiculous amount of damage. So bad choice of great boost. I should have went with an invul boost. In season I definitely will, but this fight in itself was not a hard fight. That was just user error because I'm a scrub. The next fight that we have is Storm Pyramid X. Basically if you parry on this, you get a disorient passive on you. I still have the heal boost on, but I switch out for an invul boost because I'm getting ready to take the American Chavez mini right after I fight this Storm with Kang. So the idea on this fight was just to bait out her special ones. Storm Pyramid X actually is a high ground defender as well, but I have not tested high ground yet, and that's for a specific reason. The reason being, again, I only have 2 pre-fights to use with War Machine, and I'll let you guys know what I'm talking about when we get to that part of it. But that's why I'm not counting their hits as high ground attack hits. And the reason why that special 2 did not actually go through is because Storm has a high percentage to glance, and she glanced that second hit. Anybody else that doesn't glance, that would have connected while they were blocking, as I've showcased many times. The second part of his beam, as long as you're at a distance, then it will be unblockable. All right, so we have this American Chavez next on Ebb and Flow Intercept. She is a problematic defender for a lot of people. I kept my dexterity on. Normally with Mystic champions I take it off to not feed their Mystic dispersion, but with Chavez I want to keep it on because I continuously want to bait out her special 1. I know you're not supposed to punish her heavy attacks, and I know that you can do damage back to yourself if you're not careful. I don't know exactly what mode she needs to be in and all that stuff because I don't have a Chavez myself. Shout out to Vega. I love you, buddy. I know he loves his Chavez because of the nostalgia that it brings for him and his kids. But I personally don't know anything about Chavez. I know getting her to 2 bars of power is a bad idea, and 3 bars of power for any defender in war is a very bad idea. So there I just used my power control and drained all her power. As you saw, I pushed her over 2 bars. Not a big deal. If she's not going to bait out the special 1, then we're just going to keep pushing her and we will power drain her. And we'll stay in control of this fight. So as you can see, it's not really hard. There she tried to do her heavy. She kind of spontaneously throws them from my understanding, but in less than a minute we had her down. That fight was always under control. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the War Machine pre-fights. He gives you 3 pre-fights to choose from: Support, Fortify, and Skirmish. And the one that I'm going to be dealing with is Fortify. And that basically, you gain energy resistance equal to your armor rating. Most people can use Kang unduped. It doesn't really matter. But for this, his signature ability actually matters. So as you can see, my Kang is level 88. I'm going to get him to 200 as quickly as possible. And you can see his armor rating is at almost 1900. So that's going to apply here. But first, Minash is going to take over for a second.
Wait, one special one might still have been enough just based on his health pool. During the season I might be boosted and then it will definitely be enough. And of course, Guardian is also a very good high ground counter as long as he has the armor buff. His energy resistance at max sig is just so high that I can basically ignore the tactic or pretend it doesn't exist for most fights.
And we're back. Thank you, Minash, for allowing me to use that small clip. I will leave a link to the description below for his channel and that specific video. So as we saw, Professor Xavier was a high ground defender. He had 3 charges and he was only taking 442 damage. So that was what I wanted to compare my Kang to for a few different reasons, but that's what inspired me to consider this. So as you can see, my Kang is almost at 1900 as a rank 3. Note his was a rank 4, but here's my potential: almost 6500 as a rank 3, and Guardian as a rank 3 Sig 88 is 2200. So not much of a difference there, and as a rank 4 it's 23, so still not much of a difference. By comparison, as Guardian can go to Sig 200, his potential is 85, almost 86, and then it's 87, almost 88 as a rank 4. So about 200 difference, not a big deal. And it's the same for Kang, actually, about 200, not a big deal. So this is where the War Machine pre-fight will come into play with these last 2 fights. I'm going to take on 54. Last time I did it against a Mangog. This time I'm going to try against a Sorcerer Supreme. That will not go as expected, but that's user error. It's not actually that he can't handle a fight. That's just because I'm a scrub. And then we're going to take on the boss to test out the ability accuracy reduction and high ground as well. Final thing that I wanted to say is that the Kang synergy with War Machine is based off of his stored power, as you can see there. So basically, the more power he has, the less energy damage he takes, excuse me. And there was an argument that was made to me that for his full potential, he would need to stay at 3 bars of powers, thus getting rid of his utility to stun you and to power drain you. But in the boss fight, as you can see, I don't really think that's going to be a problem, because I never go up to 2 bars of power, and the damage comparison is actually still pretty good for his signature ability. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this 54 fight. Alright, so here we have the Sorcerer Supreme on 54. You see that I'm applying the Fortify pre-fight. What I forgot to do was keep Dexterity on. Like I told you guys, normally I like to take Dexterity off so it doesn't feed their Mystic Dispersion. However, Sorcerer Supreme nullifies a lot of buffs already. So with me gaining Furies that are not passive, she was nullifying a lot of them, as well as my armor buffs. So basically, this is going to be a quick fight. It has to be a quick fight because she's going to gain power really fast. And every time that she fills a bar of power, she's going to hit harder. So I don't really get to test the high ground like I wanted to on this fight because I'm not able to allow her to build up as many charges. I think she only actually gets to 1. But what I did want to showcase here is that he's able to keep her power in check per se. She's never able to throw a special 3. I think she gets there 1 time, but he's still able to control her with the setup that I had going. I do have collar attack 4 out of 5, and I had dexterity removed. That's why I could not dex these. Going forward, I probably keep it on for this fight specifically because that's what did me in. I was too close and she threw her special 2 into me and there was nothing I could do in time, so that was lights out. Alright guys, this is the boss fight and this is the last fight. Now I do not think this is a good idea. I think this is a very bad idea. You never want to take a Kang to face a red Magneto. However, I did want to test the AAR reduction that you will see here, and I did want to test high ground. So this was where I used the second pre-fight of War Machine, and we will go over some stats here momentarily. So as you can see, in about 1 minute and 20 seconds is when Kang is supposed to be ramped up with 20 Furies. I don't think he gets above 5. So Magneto definitely affects the Furies that he will gain, which is what I wanted to test. And then here you will see him gain about 4 high ground charges when I start taking block damage. And then we'll start comparing some numbers real quick. So he kills himself basically because of suicides. I mean, obviously that's pretty apparent. But there's the first hit with 4 high ground charges, 2100 damage when it should be about 3k. So that's a good start. And note where my power bar is. Remember, that's very important, guys. The more power I have, the more energy resistance I have. So boom, there's a full bar of power and just over 1900. So okay, cool. Still 4 high ground charges. All right, no big deal. Let's keep going. All right, so now he's building up power. He's about to be at 5. Boom, 5 high ground charges there, 2300 damage. He's gonna come at me again. Boom, and that's where I pause. And yeah, there's 2392. All right, so let's keep going. He comes at me again, and 2377. Note, guys, I'm already supposed to be at almost 4k damage, and we're almost reduced by half with just a bar of power, which is why I said earlier that I don't really think it's going to be a huge deal that he needs to be at 3 bars of power to get the full effects of the energy resistance, because you can play pretty normally and still be effective. After this, I don't take any more block damage, I don't believe. I took enough to get the numbers that I wanted, so I just go ahead and let him kill himself. I think I get 1 more intercept towards the end, and then he throws a special and that's it. But yeah, my overall thoughts so far, I learned a few things. I think the synergy with War Machine is actually pretty good. I think he has the potential to go up, and then like I said, that high ground resistance and energy resistance in total due to his armor level is pretty good. So what are you guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.